I started my trading journey last September, the end of September or early October. Is whenever I signed up for the month-long, like, try it out. And then I went ahead and like dove both feet in and signed up for the executive level or platinum level. I forget whichever the highest level is, to learn more about trading. So I've always been super interested in trading, but I've never had any education around it, or I looked at the charts and was just a little overwhelmed. So so I would say that I'm still very young when it comes to trading. I love numbers. I like the thought of being able to control retirement accounts, or like really build something for yourself, for your future. And the generation that I'm in, we don't typically have big retirement accounts, or the companies nowadays don't have a lot of assets for you to utilize that, to build that up. Some companies have 401k matching, which is great, but I also was in college during 2008, and I watched my peers, my colleagues, my professors at the university lose millions in their 401k. And so that's always like kind of been in the back of my mind, like every 20 or 30 years, there could be this huge reset. And so there's a lot of risk there that you don't really have control over. You're putting all of your money, your retirement accounts, in the hands of somebody else. And so I like the idea of being able to diversify and also take control over where you're putting your money, how you're behaving with that money, and taking a little less like of the backseat role for it. I came across an ad, which seemed pretty low risk, and he's very upfront, which I really appreciated. He's like, hey, here's the deal. You can try this out, but if you move forward in the program, this is the kind of investment you're going to be looking at. And he just spent about 30 minutes with me, told me about his journey, told me about what trading has done for him and how he got started and what his ups and downs were. And so it was just very authentic. It was a very authentic conversation. And I really appreciated his honesty. And so that made me feel like, okay, this is like one of those real things where you're not just going to get a bunch of videos and someone's going to be teaching you on video on how to do things. You're going to be working with a coach that is going to help you with your specific needs. And so that's what really drew me in. I did the month-long, like, try out this simulator. And when I first looked at it, I was really overwhelmed. He just worked with me, scaled it way back. He's like, let's look at one thing at a time. And then for a few days, I would do that. And we did that over the course of the month. I was like, okay, this is where I'm confused. This is what I did. I'm ready for something new to stack on to what I'm looking at. And so working with him through that process, I was like, okay, someone really can actually help me, like, with the way that I learned, and help me navigate through the overwhelm of it all. And it's still like, I'm seeing new things all the time still. And I'm like a year in, or almost a year in, right? I just felt like it was really authentic, and there were real people that I was working with who are smart and wise, and they are working on their own self-growth and reading books all the time to work on their own mindset and work on their trading capabilities. So that's what really attracted me to the program. I think having the conversation and interaction was critical. I think YouTube is a great tool. It really is, but it's not curated in terms of a whole program. So you might go in and learn something, but there's going to be a lot of things that you're missing. And the value of what y'all do is the coaching that you provide, and being able to ask and answer questions. And then they're like, okay, you've got that now. I'm going to point you in the direction over here. And now we're going to talk about this. And these are some things that you really need to look for. And I don't think that you can get that with YouTube unless you are curating your own program, and that requires knowledge. So if you're learning, you really can't curate a program that is going to be well-rounded for yourself, because you don't know. You do not know what you do not know. And that has been a valuable lesson. I forget which book I read, and that's another thing. Y'all are always recommending books for us to read. But in the book, it talks about how you're literally blind to things that you don't know to look for. And it's so true, right? So what we're exposed to, what we are told to look for, or the ability to use what I call my powers of observation. I only know what to look for because I've been trained to look for those things. And so being able to like really understand and know deep down that there's so much that you're missing, I think really helps you with the frame point of like, okay, I don't even know what to ask. So when I'm working with a coach that's been doing this for a long time and has continuous success in it, I know that they're seeing way more than I can. And so being able to share that with others is really important. And more so, you'll have so many coaches and you'll have these program Zoom classes you can get on every morning, and those rotate coaches. And so you're getting exposure to a lot of different sets of knowledge in the trading space, and everyone does it a little bit different. And so that's really valuable. I was able to come to Utah and work with Brady and do 2 days of executive coaching with him. And that was extremely valuable, especially from a confidence level. But just being in person, like I really work well in person. In fact, I wish I could do it more. Like if I was closer, I feel like I'm going to come into the office as much as you'll let me. But even those 2 days of just having one-on-one time with Brady to look at my trade plan, to look at how the future could go for me, some strategy planning, and then some practicing, like real life practicing in our demo accounts together side by side, just even from an energetic level. Like you can see how trading can be just very relaxed and very focused. And that helped me from a confidence level a lot. If I were to give anyone advice who is starting up, I would say jump in with both feet. And whoever has signed you up, talk with them often. And then when you sign up, really engage with your coaches and all of the assets that this program has to offer, which includes, the different Zooms that they have across. They have a morning, evening, and also something that I didn't do in the beginning, and I'm still working on getting better at, is getting into the chat. There's a chat on the website and it's really valuable. And I'm kind of terrible at social media. And to me, it's like, that's kind of like social media. It's like, it works the Slack if I try to get on and, drive culture, but there really is a lot of culture in there and also a lot of support. And so I would say one thing that I wish I had done better was get more integrated into the other students via that chat function. I feel like I did a good job of connecting with my coach, but I think, again, that driving competitive factor that is a driver for me, I missed out on that because I didn't engage in the chat function enough. Mindset has so much to do with trying something new even, and being able to be vulnerable and put yourself out there and know that you're taking a risk and really put both feet in at the same time. But if you want to get really good at something, you have to hire a coach. You really do need to hire someone who is going to know, who have been where you already are, and they are where you want to be. And if you don't hire someone that's like that, again, you're trying to curate your journey on your own. And why reinvent the wheel when there are so many people out there that have already done that and can literally take you by the hand and show you how to do it? And that's the value of a coaching program, is that, and a good coaching program, because there's a lot of coaching programs out there, right? Where they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to show you, I have 10 videos for you, and I'm going to show you how to trade in these 10 videos. And that's great. And that might work for some people. However, I think that you're going to have a much higher chance of success if you're talking with a real person that you can ask those questions to and that you can be vulnerable with. And when you mess up, and you likely will, that you can just lay it out on the table. I'm like, this is what I did, right? This is what happened, and I need help. And a lot of people, I think, get stuck there. Is they do something wrong, and because of the way we were raised or an experience that we had in the past, being able to admit that mistake is a very bad thing, right? But here it's not like that. In this program, y'all are very open and very understanding and very supportive, so that when the mistake happens, which y'all are almost pretty sure it's going to happen, right? Like 99% of the time, someone's going to make a mistake. Then y'all are right there to help them pick up the pieces and be like, okay, that was a mistake. Here's what we did wrong. These are the changes that we need to make in either our mindset or our trade plan or fill in the blank, right? And then you set them back on the course. And so that is a good coach. It's a good coach. And this program is full of them and different personalities to match different personalities that come into the program. So I think it's really valuable. When you're deciding to invest in yourself and invest in your education and to build your knowledge, choosing a program that is going to be full of people who actually care is at the top of my list. You know, it's a big investment for a lot of people, but you have to, if you want your life to be different, you have to make some big changes. Investing in yourself, believe in yourself, go through the program, do the work, like show up, actually do the work. If you don't play full out, you're not going to get full out results.